watch the frickin' Smurfs, dude.
In honor of Val Kilmer's passing and Passover, we're going to be roasting the critics who hated the Prince of Egypt.
Head over to Rotten Tomatoes and you will find that the audience gave it 90% and the critics gave it 80%. Michael O'Sullivan from Washington Post says the central characters' tawny complexions and the often chiaroscuro lighting sometimes obscures all but the whites of their eyes and their pearl-perfect teeth. Somebody needs to write a letter to Bob Ross and apologize for there not being enough colors in The Prince of Egypt. And the Jews, they've been baking in the sun for how many years? 500 years? Like, they're not going to have these rich, vibrant colors, these sheens to their skin. Go watch the frickin' Smurfs, dude, if you want bright colors. You'd have a much better time watching that instead of making fun of the color of slaves. Jews. There's really no good way to say it. This guy should not have said anything. Jay Hopperman from Village Voice says, rather than Jerry Falwell, I'd have had the production vetted by Carl Reiner and Mel Brooks.
Alright, now if this guy had had his way, he would have had God be voiced by Bobcat Goldthwait. I mean, he obviously would rather have The Prince of Egypt be a comedy more in line with Bartok the Magnificent than be the serious drama that it actually is. And don't forget the sidekick. He would have given Moses an animal sidekick, probably a camel named Humphrey. Oh yeah, the slavery-driven Egypt. What a zany, wacky adventure we're gonna have in this movie. Woohoo!
Juan M. Mendez from San Francisco Examiner says, tedious, self-important, and at times exhausting. Self-important. It's based off of a book about a serious entity who wrote the book about himself. It's gonna be a bit serious, folks. Who's a pretty important character in the history of not only the story, but of the world. Stephen Boone from City Search says, the story has been so abbreviated and riddled with songs. They took like 5 pages of the Bible and stretched it out into 90 minutes. That's hardly an abbreviation. Riddled with songs. Oh no, there's beautiful music that exists in the world. Oh, sad. Bob Bloom from Rec Arts Movies says, he gives it a fresh score. He says, the animation is the retelling of the story of Moses is rich and vivid. You almost can taste the sand. Yes, I don't think that's an endorsement. I'm not going to tell somebody to go watch Finding Nemo because, the whole thing, it tastes like salt water. Yes, there's sand in the movie. The whole landscape is sand, yes. But nobody wants to taste it. Or Bob Bloom. His heart's in the right place, guys. Come on. Susan Tavernetti from Palo Alto Weekly says, except for the rousing opening scenes, children may find the film too slow and humorless for cartoon fare. Most adults would prefer a more sophisticated exploration of spiritual themes. I can see where Susan's coming from. I can name the number of kids I saw getting bored watching this movie, including my own. And the number comes out to nothing. I used to teach Sunday school like 1,000 years ago, about the time the story took place. And I would show it. No kid ever got bored watching this movie. If you're looking for a deeper religious theme, well, I suggest that when you go to church, go to the actual service, not sit in the back row in Sunday school, or attend a prayer breakfast, or go watch a Mel Gibson movie, or go to Starbucks and read your Bible, or go shop at Hobby Lobby. On your way home, you can pick up Chick-fil-A and, take it home with all your new craft supplies. But no, in no way is this movie boring to kids. These people, they have boils coming out of their skin. Like, what kid doesn't think that is awesome? The bed sheets are filled with frogs, and there's asteroids crashing into the earth. That's like every kid's dream is to see this shit, right? And to just open the windows and there's all these plagues taking place outside, and there's so much blood in this movie. There's more blood in this movie, ironically, than in Saving Private Ryan. There's murder, This is a cool movie. This is awesome. All right, Garth Franklin from Dark Horizons says, it could have worked with well thought out characters, but limps along with the mostly flat and unmemorable ones that populate the picture. You know how the Bible describes Moses? He stuttered. He stuttered. That's it.
You know, maybe DreamWorks should have taken Jay Haberman's critique. The critic that wanted Rob Reiner and Mel Brooks to vet the screenplay. They could have done a Looney Tunes Presents The Exodus. All right, and then you'd have Porky Pig starring as Moses. Because, you know, then you'd have the stuttering covered. Liberty, 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 let my people go.
You know, if it's any consolation, Garth, Val Kilmer, we're talking about him today. He ended up having a major speech impediment later in his life. You happy? So, you know, it still kind of relates. Now he's dead. Damn it. So sad. All right, let's jump over to the audience reviews. Some of these are pretty funny. Dionysus T gives it 5 stars, says, easily one of the best animated movies ever made about a religion. And it's the only animated film ever made about a religion. Unless you're counting, like, straight to video. I think they did a Joseph movie after this. And then you have all the VeggieTales stuff. I think it's safe to say that the Prince of Egypt has the market cornered on religious animation. That movie holds the monopoly still. Sean A gives it 5 stars, says, this is underrated as hell. You know, I don't think hell is underrated. We use it in like every sentence we use nowadays. What the hell? How the hell are you? I think if anything's underrated, I think heaven is. No one's going around saying, what the heaven? What the heaven is your problem, yo? Like, no one's saying that. So heaven is the one that's underrated. That's the one nobody talks about. Nobody like points a gun at somebody and says, I'm gonna see you in heaven. That's not a thing that happens. So, yeah, hell is definitely not underrated. I don't even think this movie is underrated.
All right, this guy says, the worst hour and 37 minutes ever. He says it's a box office flop.
A lot of exclamation marks. Yeah, so this isn't what would qualify as a box office flop. This took $70 million to make. Snow White just cost over $250 million to make. If you want to talk about box office flop, go somewhere else, because this film made $218 million. That is insane how well this movie did. I hate the movie Avatar. I hate it so much I turned it off 6 hours in, and like I haven't even finished it. I can't just go around saying, oh, it's a box office flop. I have to contend with the fact that it's one of the highest grossing films of all time. Unfortunately, he hates this movie, so, oh, it's a box office flop. Not really, dude. Let's finish up here. We have the most honest reviews. Comes from James Berardinelli. He's from Real Views. Says, this movie is worth a trip to the local multiplex by viewers of all ages, races, and religious persuasions. All right, and then Ross Anthony from Hollywood Report card says, the people at DreamWorks put their brushes to the film. With the spirit, Moses put his staff in the mighty Nile, lighting it up with the eerie color of bloodshed. Wow, that is poetic. So, like the movie, I will leave you on that deep and resonating note. Oh, and Val Kilmer, rest in peace. We are grateful for the things you gave us, even all the laughs you provided for us in Batman and Robin. I cannot wait to go revisit that someday. And if you haven't seen the movie Val, it is a self-made documentary about Val Kilmer. I highly recommend you check it out. It was weird and good and touching, and I think it would be a great film for you to watch at this time, as well as The Prince of Egypt and Tombstone. If you have a suggestion for a movie for me to do, please leave it down below. Like, comment, share, do all that stuff. I'll see you in the next video. There's a nagging disharmony between the grandeur of the tale and the lazily anachronistic, and why do you use big words? Anachronistic. Good. But the central characters' tawny complexions and the often... Oh, geesh. Another big word. Tawny complexions and the often let me piggy go.